Thanks for joining us. A higher percentage of students in Coon Rapids are leaving high school with diplomas.
New data released by the Minnesota Department of Education also shows increases in graduation rates throughout District 11 and the state. CTN's Joe Nelson took a closer look at the numbers and found out who's improving the most and by how much.
It's a message you can hear from any principal in the country.
We want all of our students to be successful.
But not every student who walks down these halls will leave in a cap and gown. In 2012, Coon Rapids High School saw about 79% of its seniors graduate, trailing each of District 11's 4 other traditional high schools by more than 6%. New numbers released this week show that gap remains, but Coon Rapids High School showed an increase in graduation by 7%.
It's a complete effort of, both school, community, parents, and family.
District 11 Associate Superintendent of High Schools Jeffrey McGonigal says given its diverse population, Coon Rapids has done well.
A combination of free and reduced in mobility, that population is really challenging because they get behind. And Coon Rapids is having a lot of success with those students, and they have more of them that they're working with. So even though it looks lower on there, I think it's kind of an exciting number for Coon Rapids, actually.
The gap between graduation rates of minority students and their white peers remains, but shrunk by about 8% in the district since 2012. Rates for Hispanic students spiked 21%.
We were underserving Hispanic students, and at this time, I could say that we're better serving Hispanic students.
Principal Annette Ziegler says it's hard to pinpoint why the school has improved, but getting kids on track early has led to success later.
You have to go in strong is to make sure that ninth graders understand that the decisions that they do and the classes that they take help them to work towards graduation. We try to create as much as possible an individual plan for them to be successful in their future.
Coon Rapids High School had a graduation rate ahead of the state average by 5% and a dropout rate about 3% below the state average. Steve and Karen?
Both good numbers.
Yep, heading in the right direction.
Yeah,
Thanks, Joe. The Coon Rapids Civic Center played host to a roundtable discussion on student loan debt this week. The roundtable, called Degrees, Not Debt, featured around 75 teachers who talked about how their student loan debt has affected their families and their ability to fully participate in Minnesota's economy. The roundtable was part of a week-long statewide tour to give elected officials a first-hand look at the student loan debt crisis.
What was really amazing was the number of students at North Hennepin Community College who were willing to tell very personal stories about struggling with paying for food and childcare and school at the same time, and just they can't even think about the debt that they're incurring, or it prevents them from moving forward and focusing on their studies.
The tour, organized by the North Star Policy Institute, also made a stop at Anoka-Ramsey Community College on Thursday. Legislators are considering several proposals, including a tuition freeze, making student loan payments tax deductible, and reducing student loan interest rates.
Lawmakers will have a smaller budget surplus than they expected to work with when they return to the Capitol next month. Today, state officials released the updated budget forecast, which estimates a $1.5 billion surplus compared to a $1.9 billion surplus projected back in November. A third of it automatically goes to budget reserves, which leaves about $900 million for lawmakers to wrangle with this session.
I, James Abler, do solemnly swear.
I, James Abler, do solemnly swear.
Minnesota's newest state senator took the oath of office this week. On Monday, Jim Abler was sworn in during a special ceremony in St. Paul. Earlier this month, the former state rep beat out 2 other candidates for the open seat due to the resignation of Brandon Peterson. Abler says he's excited to return to the state legislature.
I will predict, I'll go on a limb here, that every day will not be as happy on the floor as this day is. There's a fairly good chance of that. But so what happens when people engage is good things happen. And so when people engage in the party of their choice, when more of them engage, good things happen.
Due to construction at the state capitol, Abler's swearing-in ceremony was held in the temporary Senate chambers in the Senate office building. Abler previously served 16 years in the House.
The political process for the 2016 election kicks off next week here in Minnesota. Precinct caucuses will be held on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Republicans and DFLers will meet at area middle and high schools. You can find out your caucus location by logging onto the Secretary of State's website. Caucuses are where local voters start to formulate party platforms and choose delegates and alternates for the state party conventions this summer. There are caucuses and primaries in 14 states on Super Tuesday. Construction is moving forward on the expansion project at the Springbrook Nature Center.
This week marked the 20th week of construction, and the mild weather is helping out. CTN Steve Antis reports they're ahead of schedule, and that means more of the overall project could be completed by summer.
It was a good pour, came off without a hitch.
With 5,000 feet of freshly poured concrete, Springbrook Nature Center's future is set in a firm foundation.
They did, about 60% of the floors today.
EDS Builders' Doc Smith is the construction manager for the Springbrook project. He says the weather gave the contractors a chance to put on the roof before the floor was poured.
Usually contractors don't work off the dirt, but in this situation, the ductwork is in already, and we're standing on dirt right now.
The building has sustainable features, but none as clear as the striped bird-safe glass.
Because sparrows' wings are a little over 4 inches, so as a bird comes up to it, they know they can't go through it, so they'll turn and go away from it.
Aside from the new addition, there's still a need to raise about $500,000 to finish all phases of the spring project. This project continues to get help from private donations and companies willing to donate their time and materials.
Central Roofing is donating the green roof.
In total, we've developed 11 educational exhibits.
The Nature Center's director, Mike Mayer, looked over the themes that will be on display in the new Interpretive Center, like a soil exhibit.
Kind of takes the concept of maybe looking at a couple square inches of soil and magnifying it to be about an 8-foot cube. Kids can crawl through it. There'll be roots and these huge oversized insects and grubs and things.
I think it's going to be a wonderful building. I think it'll be the talk of the state.
Steve Antis, CTN News.
Despite ongoing construction, officials at Springbrook will host their summer camp program in June and use part of the new building. A public grand opening is set for late July. 2 more housing projects are being proposed for Port Riverwalk. The proposals were pitched during a city council work session this week. Beard Group wants to construct a 160-unit apartment project with 2 buildings. Centra Homes is proposing a townhouse project consisting of up to 100 detached units in 2 different phases. Earlier this month, Sherman and Associates discussed their plans with the City Council for a 132-unit apartment project. Plans for Port Riverwalk will be discussed in more detail next month.
The Anoka County 4-H program is getting you glammed up for a good cause. The 4-H Youth Energizing System is holding its annual program dress sale, and they're giving us a sneak peek. CTN's Jordan Ryland shows us how these dresses are a perfect fit in more ways than one.
Wow, you walk in and it's all like beautiful. There's all these different colors.
Over 1,000 formal dresses, and every single one $30 or less. The prom dress sale is a fundraiser for the Anoka County 4-H Yes program. Each year, the organization holds the sale at the Bunker Hills Activities Center, and this year, it's a one-stop shop for prom goers.
We have vendors that we're calling and contacting to try to get people to come for like limousine companies and like hair and makeup and stuff like that.
New and gently used prom, bridesmaid, and even wedding dresses are donated. And for $30 or less, you can have your dream dress.
Their eyes just light up and they have like this gasp and it's like, oh, this is perfect for me. And then they put it up and they twirl around and it's just so amazing and they're like, it makes them so happy.
And these 4-H members are happy to be involved in a program that teaches them leadership skills, public speaking, and empowerment.
My mother was in 4-H and her whole family was, and so when I was a Clover Bud, my brother would go to the meetings and I was always looking so forward to being there.
It is very involving. Everyone is involved. No one's left out. There are so many different opportunities for everyone.
And everyone will have a chance to shop for prom 2016 next weekend as you search for the perfect fit for a great cause.
Gorgeous.
In Coon Rapids, Jordan Rylance, CTN News.
Again, the prom dress sale is coming up in just 1 week. It will take place Friday, March 4th from 6 to 9 p.m. and again on Saturday, March 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Bunker Hills Activities Center. Only cash and checks will be accepted. All proceeds will benefit Anoka County 4-H youth leadership programs, scholarships, and community service projects. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great program. Nothing over $30. You gotta like that.
That's a bargain. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again next week.
Bye-bye.